What if I told you that there was a four-class model out there that was 10 times cheaper to build, maintain, and execute on? So ChatGPT 4 set the bar for models in 2024. It's since been surpassed by inference time compute models like O1, O1 Pro, O3, but it's still really, really good at a lot of different things. It's good at English, it's good at coding, it's good at math, etc. Well, there's now a new model. Instead of costing the 70 or $100 million that ChatGPT cost to train, similar cost for Claude, this model only cost $5 million, maybe five and a half. That is not that much. A lot of startups have $5 million. It's a lot for an individual, but a lot of startups have $5 million. And it's really amazing to see a world where we could actually envision individual startups being able to build their own models. And this is
Let me just say this, right? Just to put context. Tokens, I don't really understand why the fuck I gotta pay for a conversation. Excuse my language, but we have cryptocurrency and crypto mining at that. That is how you make money, like with GPUs and stuff like that. That's not being integrated in the United States. Why? Because they don't trust it. It's not a trusted currency backed on a dollar. I don't get how this is any different, man. Like, you're paying tokens to another person for a prompt. The only thing I see as to why you'd integrate it is it's like the easiest form to back on some digital currency, like that barter trade system. You pay me tokens, I give you money. You feel me? And now LCM is gonna take kind of a different approach with Meta's release because it's like you don't pay off for tokenomics no more. So the pay structure is gonna be like fuckery. I'm not gonna lie to you, because there's no solid pay structure for tokenomics. Tokenomics is very simple. You pay me, I give you tokens for the prompts you send. Period, point blank. And then they make sure that they have the data centers up and running for the amount of transactions during the data facility throughout the day. That's not for me to decide. But it's just crazy how if you don't have money, there's literally no way AI could work. So it's like a catch 22. You gotta pay to play.
something that the makers of this model have chosen to open source. So it's something anybody can look at and say, how could I make it even better, or how could I do it myself?
Be wary of open source. I'm not gonna keep pausing, but be wary of open source because everything that's open source is not meant to be humanitarily good. I think the last open source company would be Open AI, and I don't want to say it and butcher other people who's making like waves. I just probably haven't heard of you guys yet. If there are any companies like that, please like let me know. Like bash me under the comments. I don't mind. But in terms of nonprofit, I said nonprofits, not for profits and stuff like that, Open AI would be that benchmark. And like after seeing how much venture capitalist companies can have their hands on things that they feel like is like revolutionary, just pay for your shit. It don't make no sense to be free because now you lose control or leverage over the thing that you wanted to use to help like humanity. I don't think tech is the space to do that uh not for profit, or at least not no funding to start, because whatever funding you do get to start, it has to be allocated to the person that gave you that money. That's the only thing. Like that's the only, literally the only thing.
And they've done a number of really interesting things throughout the model build process that they are revealing to the world. And I just want to highlight a couple. I'll share the paper in the description here. This is DeepSeek V3. It's very cool. So the training data was something they took a lot of care with. They did not do sort of the suck up the whole internet vibe that ChatGPT did. They actually had a very specific training corpus of very high quality tokens that they trained against. And they really, really reviewed it to make sure it was good at English, good at Chinese, good at math, and good at coding. And then they reinforced that carefully with human responses to ensure it was really, really accurate. And that gave them a lot of confidence during query time. So when you type in a query, it gave them confidence to actually predict more tokens ahead and be more efficient in their use of space. So even though this is a very large model, it's like 617 billion tokens, right? It's a very large model, large for a four class model. Like it's not something that you would expect to be this efficient, is the way I'll put it. But they have figured out that you can use just a sliver of that total model space in the response, and it's about picking the right sliver. And so, where other models like Meta's Llama or Claude or ChatGPT use the whole model space, this model only uses 37 billion parameters out of the 617 billion parameter model for any given response. And so it's about picking the right 37 billion.
Here's what's gonna be funny, right? Do you know why? And this is just my theory. I feel like this is happening with DeepSeek because as humans, we only know how to use about what, 20, 30% of our brain. So whatever side or section that we keep clicking on, whether that's the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, the top left hemisphere, the top right hemisphere, it really doesn't give a fuck hemisphere. You get my drift? When you get to the point of understanding that we have access to power or at least knowledge that human capabilities probably won't even like ever experience in a lifetime. Take Lucy the movie, for example. Then you understand how dangerous artificial intelligence is. As you heard him, Llama and all them other companies are using 100% of the motherfucker's capacity, bro. Yo, do you know how bold you have to be to like just utilize 100% of the capacity of a nigga brain? 100% of the nigga brain, bro. And you want to train him on data that we don't even use at 100%. Do you hear how crazy that sounds? I just want to break it down because that's what AI learning is. Feeding it the data and choosing what section you want to use, which is what DeepSeek is doing, or feeding the data and use everything, 100% of everything.
Which sounds like a lot of parameters until you realize it's such a tiny percentage of the total in the model, and they're actually making very efficient use of compute. They're also able to predict more than one token ahead because they're so confident in their training data. And so instead of predicting only one token ahead, they're predicting two. And that's a really cool innovation. I expect to see other folks go after that as well. Now, they did some other cool things during the training phase. They had something called DualPipe, which I've tried to explain a couple of times on video. It's rather complicated. It basically amounts to being able to regurgitate and learn at the same time.
Dual pipe. We gonna break that bitch down right now. One message. Okay, okay. When it comes to learning LLMs or AI, what is dual pipe? Explain dual pipe in regards to learning or training. How does it differ from inference computing? And explain in two ways. One way, like two ways. Explain to me like I was 5 years old in two ways. One way as if I was not second or 13 is I love basketball. Always got to use something you love or a daily hobby or something. Always helps out with the learning process. We're gonna figure out what a dual pipe first, like your five. Imagine two straws. With one straw you can drink milk, with the other straw you can blow bubbles in your milk. Dual pipe is an AI like using both straws at the same time. One part of the AI is learning new things, while the other part of the AI is using what it already learned. It's like drinking and making bubbles at the same time. That doesn't sound comfortable, my nigga. Okay, champ. Your basketball practice and a normal practice, you might practice shooting hoops first and later play a real game. But with dual pipe, it's like you're practicing your shots and playing the game at the same time. While one of your team is practicing new shots, learning, another part of is playing the game using what you learned. Just like how Steph Curry might be practicing new trick shots while still using his regular shot in the game. Okay, basically like doing two things at once. Learning. What is it again? I might have to show you two others like using both. One is learning something new, and the other part is using what. All right, so it's based off of learning and utilizing what you're learning already. Learning and utilizing what you're learning already. That's what dual pipe is. It's learning and utilizing what it already has learned.
And they had a special network set up to do that. They outlined that in the paper. I definitely recommend diving in for the details there. But from a strategic perspective, if we step back, what this really means is that models have gone from being something that are in the $100 million class, only a few startups could ever afford, to anybody can build this if they have startup level seed investment. That is a massive, massive shift. It is going to make more and more four class models available, and it's going to be yet another driver in this overall strategic theme of four class intelligence becoming essentially free.
I'm not gonna sit here and say he's wrong, but I do also want to digress at the fact that I don't think that it's a strategic move for people who are trying to get into the game. I think for the oligarchs, like the people who got there first, I think they're like, yo, we don't want to waste our resources constantly making newer models of something that may or may not work. Let's let other people get a chance at this AI gold rush. So now they're making it affordable for other people. You're gonna see a lot of other things take place. But I genuinely like, I just don't think that it's like I think we're losing a footing on regulation for AI, right? And it's becoming more and more of a wild, wild west. And people don't want to say it because it's like an international homeland security thing. You don't want to tell people that, hey, look, we don't got no control over the technology we're using, but don't worry, we got it. Like, well, first of all, what do we got? Because we damn sure don't got the best technology right now. And second of all, what do you mean relax? I use this technology every day for the past however long. Some people might have been using it their whole life. Other people might have been using it the second half of their life. People like me, we like in between us. We had a life without it and with it. So it's kind of like a slippery slope right now because everyone can sway the same way or like just like be confused. It's not like everyone will have their own ideologies like an Android or iPhone. Overall, I think Nate did a good job covering the topic. Obviously, there's another minute and 24 probably, but I honestly wanted to digress. This is like a strategic part or portion of his video. Make sure I link it in the video, and I'll make sure I link it in the description below. But I just wanted to touch base on just like this topic. LLMs is going to be the next big thing in 2025, but DeepSeek, I don't know. I have to see more. Because even now, I've used DeepSeek. Let me see, because I have the tab open. I've used DeepSeek. First prompt was Monkey E. You know what I mean? And Monkey E, if you understand what the banana reward system is, like I got it to, you know, do something security measures on other platforms wouldn't be able to do. Now, if you guys want to see the video, it's on my page, but I just feel like DeepSeek has a lot to go, a lot of ways to go. And they're doing something different, which is they're allowing people to use their APIs, but even on Hugging Face, you can't use their model at all. So it's kind of like I said, you have to pay to play. So like to use DeepSeek and see how you could train on their model, how you can train their model on whatever you want to train it on, you kind of got to pay for that. As well as Llama with their LCM models. You got to pay for that access and you got to agree to their terms, and there's certain restrictions you can't do with their model that's currently out. But overall, sorry about that. This is just like unregulation going on right now. Um, yeah, that's it. There's nothing more, nothing less. I hope y'all like the video. Make sure y'all tap into get his get his little this model is done. Nate. Make sure y'all tap into Nate. Make sure y'all go in the comments and tell him hi. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Yeah, been some good insight. All right. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we out here, man.